Little Miss Recap contains adult language and is intended for entertainment purposes only. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Little Miss Recap. My name is Amy.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. Guys, Amanda's with me today to talk about the vow, and we're very excited.
So happy we're finally here. Becca gets her Cowboys. I get NXIVM.
I did a lot of thinking while I was watching this.
Okay.
And it's, there's a discussion to be had around why I would so easily be sucked into Jonestown, Branch Davidians, and not this.
And I would not be sucked into either of those. I 100% could have been sucked into NXIVM.
As I was watching this, I was like, I could see Amanda getting sucked into this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like, I've been a personal development, personal growth junkie in my 20s. I felt like a lot of how Sarah talks about how she felt lost and without purpose and not understanding what, why she was upon this planet and all that. Yeah. I have felt that my whole life.
Okay, so here's what I want to talk about. This is a deep conversation to start off, but we'll start here since it came up.
Why not?
I think that's okay. So yes, I agree with you. And there have been times in my life where I felt very lost.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for me, and this is, I don't know how this happened, but for me, the one thing I've always had is a very strong sense of who I am. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
So like personal development doesn't appeal to me the way it appeals to some, because I feel like I know who I am, faults and all.
Right.
And I've accepted that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My desire or my being lost or like relate to other parts of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was always a very lonely person when I wasn't in a relationship. I always need to be in a relationship. I need to kind of belong to someone, which is part of my, again, like I know that about myself.
It's part of your codependency, and
I don't love it about myself, but it is part of me. But my thing is always like, I guess like, what is my purpose outside of myself?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes total sense. And
some people really, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Let me just put a bow on it.
Yeah.
Some people really have a strong sense of what their purpose is outside of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that's, and they want to do the work on who they are and their personal development. And I think I'm the opposite, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Growing up, and particularly in my 20s, I did not have a sense of self at all.
Okay.
At all. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what made me tick. Even though I was very self-reflective and introspective, like I've always been a navel gazer of some sort. I didn't know who I was, or if I started to know who I was and I didn't feel like it would be socially accepted by, in particular, my parents.
Yeah.
I was like, well, then that's not an option, even if that was who I am. Like, as an example, I went through a whole thing where I was like, am I a lesbian? Am I straight? Am I bi?
Right.
Like, what am I?
Right.
And I landed on, I'm like 80% straight, but there's a part of me that is not 100% straight, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I've never had like a big coming out moment to anybody because it's just really not been germane, but I've said it enough here on the podcast. And at this point, I don't really care if people hear that or whatever. But like in my 20s, when I was going that, I was like, oh my God, if I land on being a lesbian, I can't do that because it won't be accepted.
Well, and we did grow up at a different time.
And it was. Absolutely. Yeah. But I think even today in my 20s, I would feel that way because I'd feel like I was somehow letting my parents down, or
you got the big parent voice over you at all times.
Oh, all the time. I'm a 52-year-old woman, and I worry about what my parents are going to think of a meme I post sometimes.
I wonder what would happen if you could find a way to remove that.
That's what I've been trying to do in therapy. Honestly, that's been a lot of the work. And that's why I started doing EMDR again, because I want to not have those voices in my head all the time.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I totally get that. And I don't know where that sense of self came for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, that's why when I get criticism, I can usually take it okay.
Yeah.
Depending, I mean, I'm human.
Yes, of course.
But I can usually take it okay because I know my faults.
Right.
Like, yeah, I know I'm this or I'm that or I'm, you know what I mean? And I've accepted it and I'm okay with that. And I don't know where I got that from. But for me, it's always been what can I do outside of me
Right.
to do things?
Yeah.
So like I could see getting sucked into Jonestown where they're like, oh, we're going to create these communes and we're going to knock down our carbon footprint and we're going to, and
It's
he
a
was
social justice mission you could get sucked into.
selling social justice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, Peter Crush is a different animal because I feel like I would be enamored with him.
Right. Which I don't understand at all, but that's okay.
And that's another like not bad quality that I have, but another quality I have is I could be a slut.
Yeah.
Like in my 20s, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Like I could make decisions based on, as we all have discussed, poor choices in men.
Yes.
Yes.
You're a bad picker.
Yes. 100%. And, that's just who I am. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No, I get that too. This is one of those cults that I totally get. Now it's interesting because are you familiar with Landmark Forum? Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay. That's it's very culty. It's another personal development thing. I've had a couple of friends who were like real deep in it for a while and they've all kind of worked themselves out.
Yeah.
And I have no idea if things like what happened in NXIVM exist there. I know, okay. I don't know it at that level, but a friend did want me to come to like one of their intro sessions once and asked me. And finally one day I was like, fine, I'll suck up 2 hours and just get this done. And this was when I was dating Mike. So it was 2015. So I was in my early mid 40s. And I remember leaving there going, oh God, I feel dirty. Like it felt so culty. And a lot of what they were doing is shit they do in NXIVM. And so I wonder if that spidey sense would have gone off.
Maybe you would have gotten pulled into NXIVM, but
in my 20s, probably more than now. Because I'm at least
maybe
enough
have
of a skeptic.
Figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would have gotten into DOS and all the things that we'll eventually talk about. But I get Sarah Edmondson is a fascinating character to me. There's things about her that annoy the shit out of me. And I think some of that is it's the spot it, you got it stuff that like I see some of myself in her and there's stuff I'm like, ooh, I could do that. And that's not great.
It just struck me like I was like, oh, these are just a bunch of people who are throwing away money and they have nothing else to do.
Oh,
like,
see now.
There's a level of these are just I'm going to use a real Gen X term if you're ready. These are just a bunch of yuppies throwing money at a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe that's a component of it too. That's a turnoff to me is the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you didn't have to have money to be in Branch Davidians.
No. And you lived like it. So that worked out well.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I could tell you with 100% certainty if I had, like Sarah, if I had a credit card with $2,700 on it, which is how much the 5-day intensive cost, I 100% would have thrown money at that. 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
In my 20s.
All right. Well, let's dig into it, shall we? And guys, let us know in the comments, are you a NXIVM girly or are you a Branch Davidian girly?
Which cult would you have wound up in? Also,
Amanda would have been safer. I probably obviously would have perished at Whitco.
Yeah, you would have. I also want to be real upfront and clear. I'm really hot for Mark Vicente, and I have been since the
I am not into this guy at all.
Did you know I would be into him?
No, I did not think you'd be into him. Not at all.
So into him. And I think a lot of it, I'll be real honest, is the accent.
Okay.
Yeah, I like a good South African accent. Like, I think it's that. But yeah, the dorkiness, the like intense introspection. Oh, it's hot. Okay.
Was that movie really that successful that he made?
In the circle that it was in, yes.
Because they're talking about it like it's Roger and Me.
Marlee Maitland was in it.
Okay. Is she the actress who's hearing impaired?
Yes.
Okay.
Children of a Lesser God.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah. Like real people were in it. It was for what it was. and in its circle, particularly in that like mystical metaphysics thing,
Mm-hmm.
very big.
Okay.
In that little circle.
That's another thing. Like a lot of this felt hacky to me, like biohacky. Like Elon Musk would be funding this right now. Like it felt Elon Musk adjacent. Like how could we biohack our health? How could we, you know what I mean? It just felt hacky.
Yeah, there's definitely a hacky element to it. And we'll go through all of it, but like so much of this is Scientology. Like Keith Raniere just stole shit from everybody.
Yeah.
He didn't come up with anything.
No. And he is a fucking loser, this guy.
Oh my God. My God. So the season 1, episode 1, there's 2 seasons of this. Amy and I talked about potentially doing like 2 episodes at a jump. And then we're like, let's try 1, see where it comes. I think this is going to be a 1 episode per episode thing. Cause there's just so much there.
Yeah. Especially when you're laying the groundwork and the fundamentals and the principles.
And there's a lot of that in this one. So this first episode is called The Science of Joy. And you're like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that
feels hacky to me.
See, no, that's something to me. I'm like, yes, let's talk about the science of joy and like the emotional components of it and how do you get this? Oh God, I would have been in so much trouble. So
I love that you're like, well, and you know, I've had to face the dark times when I would have been in Mother God.
Yeah. This is where I would have wound up 100%. So, we talk about, let me go to the top of this, start at the beginning of it. So we start with this talking head of just like this normal looking dude, right? Like if you saw Keith Raniere walking through the grocery store, there's nothing remarkable about him. He looks like a middle-aged dad.
Yep.
Just like a regular dude.
Yep.
And he's talking about how we all have these heroes and people we enjoy for a multitude of reasons. And he says, imagine if you wanted some of those traits for yourself. Okay, that sounds good.
Sure.
There's people you like. You're like, how can I achieve that thing? And he has a methodology for it, Amy.
Of course
that he is happy to sell you. It is called ESP, Executive Success Program, which is part of NXIVM. A totally made up word. If people are trying to Google this to learn more, it's NXIVM. It's not. It's not like the next. What was the NXIVM that was like? Was that like a heartburn medication or something?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, sounds familiar.
So he's got the technology. You know, you're in trouble when these people have technology.
Yes. Yeah.
Scientologists have technology.
And they're getting patents and shit.
Oh, yeah. We patent the shit out of everything. There's not a trademark that Keith Raniere hasn't made happen for himself. So we come to 2017. We meet Mark Vicente, who's really the voice of this. And he is the lens through which we begin this whole story.
Is he the producer or anything on this?
I think he is.
I was just curious, like when you're a documentarian, do you make your own documentary or do you farm it out?
Yeah, I mean, let's see the Vow. Let me see who is in it. Oh God, fucking Nancy Salzman's face.
Hi everyone, I'm Nancy Salzman. Are you stuck at work? Are you unable to move your success to the top of the ladder? Well, we have a program for you. Stop getting stuck at the bottom. Rise to the top.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not coming up with who the producers are on IMDb. Okay. The directors are not any of these people. Okay. So Mark Vicente, and he says he's recording this because he thought he might be attacked by this organization, litigation.
Okay.
Much like Scientology, Keith Raniere is never afraid to sue somebody. So he was real nervous about that.
He is not a producer on this.
Okay. And he's like, I don't want to like destroy this organization. I just want people to know what's happening. And I've seen the truth and now it's totally fucked with my head. So we jump 2019. We see it's the U.S. We're at the, district court in New York City, U.S. versus Keith Raniere. So we know from the jump, this doesn't go good.
Yeah.
We're going straight to jail. Keith Raniere is being arraigned and we learned that he was found guilty on 7 counts. These include racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, attempted sex trafficking. When Charlie was public defender, one of my favorite things he ever had was somebody who got arrested for attempted false identification.
Oh,
like what? Imagine you get pulled over. You're like, my name's Bob. I mean, Fred. I mean, like, what does that look like? Anyway, sex trafficking conspiracy, forced labor conspiracy, and wire fraud conspiracy. It's not good.
Not good.
He winds
Not
up in
good.
prison he has 120 years.
Good. Stay there.
Stay there. So now we see Mark and this cute brunette, and they're recording themselves. And this is where we meet Sarah Edmondson. She tells us her story. She had this boyfriend. She was kind of feeling lost. She was an actor in Vancouver. And the boyfriend was like in this, documentary world. And there was going to be this cruise for this, whatever, real metaphysics. The cruise thing would have made me go, the fuck are you doing? This like.
And I'll be real honest with you. I think part of the reason I'm turned off to the whole hacky science of this is because I don't understand it.
That could be it too. I don't understand a lot of it either.
Science scares me.
Science is
I believe in it wholeheartedly.
Yes.
But I don't understand a lot of it.
Yep. Same. And Sarah heard that the guy from What the Bleep Do We Know was going to be on this. So she's like, I'll go. And she kind of was feeling in her life like, this relationship isn't even great. Like, I'm just going to use this week to figure out my shit, my purpose in life.
Sure. What the bleep do we know, by the way? 34% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen it actually, but it was
probably terrible.
It was big in its thing. So on this cruise, Mark Vicente was there. And so just real quick of What the Bleep Do We Know? It's a 2004 pseudoscientific film that posits a spiritual connection between quantum physics and consciousness.
You lost me there.
If anybody's familiar with a guy named Joe Dispenza, he's real into this world too. I have some friends who are real into his stuff. And the plot follows the fictional story of a photographer using his documentary style interviews and graphics as she encounters emotional and existential obstacles in her life and begins to consider the idea that individual and group consciousness can influence the material world, blah, blah, blah. It starred Mari Matlin, whose name apparently was Amanda in the film. But so it had real people in it.
I just want to alert everyone that I have a very sore throat and I put a little lozenge in. I will try to make as little noise as possible.
I can't hear it, so you're probably good.
Little Miss Recap will return in a moment. For ad-free episodes, visit littlemissrecap.com/support. Today's show is sponsored by Liquid IV. Let me paint a scenario for you. You are an unassuming young woman who suddenly finds herself thrust into the world of international fame when you begin dating a superstar from Belize. Suddenly you're on the move. You're going to all these clubs, watching him sing to other women. You're in recording studios. It can be an exhausting life, and you need to take care of yourself, and you need to take care of your body and pace your hydration. This is where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV hydrates you with 3 times the electrolytes of a leading sports drink. Just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. I love the lemon lime, and when my girls were playing soccer and I knew I needed to keep them hydrated for their health and for their bodies, Liquid IV was our go-to. And did you guys know that over 1% of their revenue is contributed to their impact program? So you can feel good knowing their company is one that helps other communities secure and protect their water. And it's great for your teens and your young adults because Liquid IV contains 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, and it's always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. So rehydrate with better hydration from Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com, get 20% off your first order with code RECAP at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code RECAP at liquidiv.com. The link is in the show notes of this episode as always, and thank you Liquid IV for sponsoring Little Miss Recap. Today's episode is brought to you by Lumi Gummies. So happy to have Lumi Gummies back on the show. We love them so much. I love Lumi Gummies almost as much as Lisa loves her vape. So when you're being read for filth by your fiance's uncle in another country and you have to deny every single part of your existence and you're sweating and you got your wig on and you don't know how to make your clothes work, Lumi Gummies can help in any situation. Consistent, mellow, super delicious, Lumi Gummies are specifically designed to make you feel good but not stoned. Whether you're looking for an end-of-day de-stressor, a midday mood boost, or help getting the best sleep ever, Lumi Gummies has a strain that's right for you. You guys know I've been talking a lot about my anxiety journey, whether it's just the general state of the world or the shows that I have to watch, or putting up with Cody Brown's nonsense, or maybe my kids moving across the state, I haven't been sleeping right. So I turned to a new flavor of gummy. I'm now hooked on the Plumberry Runts, which is an indica gummy designed to help reduce anxiety, improve mood, and provide full body relaxation. I love it. It's perfect for winding down after a stressful day, chilling on the couch, watching my murder shows, watching my trash TV, whatever I need. I love it. And like I've said many times before, if you go to lumigummies.com, their website's fantastic. If you don't know a lot about gummies, or this is your first foray into this world, the website is amazing and will give you all the information you need. And good news, Lumi Gummies are available nationwide. Go to lumigummies.com, that's Lumi gummies.com, and use code Little Miss Recap for 30% off your order. Again, that's lumigummies.com, code Little Miss Recap. lumigummies.com, code Little Miss Recap. Thank you, Lumi.
So Sarah meets him. She's super impressed by him, and she's sick at the time, and she keeps coughing, and this cough is getting on her nerves. And finally, Mark says to her, like, what would you lose if you stopped coughing? And she was like, what?
I wanted to throw right up.
See, these are interesting questions to me. And she's like, what? But then what it clicked for her was like, oh, I'm getting attention when I'm sick. That comes back to a pattern as a child that when I was sick, I got the attention I wanted, blah, blah, blah. So she was like, huh, just that one question kind of cracked something open for her. So Mark tells her all about ESPA. It's run by this guy. He's the smartest guy in the world.
Is
she's
he,
like,
Mark? Is
oh,
he?
No. We'll get to that.
Although he did figure out how to get all this going. So
he's not a dummy,
yes.
for sure. And to be a cult leader like this, you have to be really great at reading people.
Yeah, true.
And dialing right into people. And he could do
why
that.
I could never be a cult leader.
Right. There are certain skills you have to have that are really powerful to be able to pull this off. And Keith Raniere has them. And so she was like, maybe this is my purpose. Maybe I should go try this thing. She's like, she wasn't even interested in Keith at first. She was like, I want to know more about Mark and Mark's work. So we hear the whole NXIVM pitch. ESP, Executive Success Program, is part of NXIVM. It's a methodology for optimizing human potential.
Oh, all this gobbledygook.
See, I'm like, yes, let's optimize our human potential. Let's do it together.
And I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't know, but let's find out.
Okay.
So like I said, she decides she's broke. She's living like in a shitty apartment, but she's like, I got to figure out what the hell I'm doing with my life. Threw down my money. I Googled it. The best I could come up with was the cost for the 5-day was about $2,700.
Okay.
She walks it. She signs up for this expecting like a Tony Robbins experience, and she gets.
I love this. She's like, I go
conference
into
room in a Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn. It's like going to Stacey and Darcy's beauty show, whatever,
right,
fashion
exactly,
show.
Exactly. At the suburb of the suburb of the suburb, Miami, Hampton Inn. This is where we were. And it starts with the video of Nancy, which you were doing that voice pretty well. And Sarah initially thought, like, this is stupid. This is hokey. This feels 80s. This feels janky.
Yeah.
She's like, my parents are therapists. Like, what am I going to learn from these people? And calls Mark up that night and is like, the fuck did you send me to? What is this?
Yeah.
And this is where we learn, you learn a special handshake. That's never a good sign. Nancy Salzman is the prefect. Keith is vanguard. And she's like, and then there are sashes. And she's like, what the fuck are the sashes? Like, this
the
is
whole
the
vanguard thing is so dumb.
Oh, the vanguard thing is so dumb. And it's like, look, the sash is just a silly piece of silk. It represents an idea and a ranking. Just kind of let that go. Don't worry too much about that.
Yeah, the sashes, I don't know if that would have raised an alarm bell with me. I don't think so.
What annoys me about the sashes is they're too fucking short.
They're very short. It's weird.
They look stupid.
Yeah.
And I like how Sarah's like, I didn't think it would go with my outfit.
Yeah.
It just felt janky.
Yeah.
And, Mark's just like, just stick with it. And she's kind of like, well, I paid for this already. I may as well get through it. He's like, day 3 is when shit'll break open for you. And you see Sarah watching the video from the 5-day intensive, and you could see like the pain on her face was palpable seeing this. One thing you'll learn about Sarah is she feels a tremendous amount of guilt.
Yeah.
For bringing other people into this.
Yeah, she does.
And it's interesting to see where that comes out. But she says date 3 was her first big shift. This was the module about self-esteem. Nancy gives some gobbledygook explanation of self-esteem that makes no sense. But we talk about these things, limiting beliefs, which I called you out on during our Ask Us Anything. And limiting beliefs is a real coaching.
Limiting beliefs is real.
It's real.
I do believe that. But I also think sometimes it's confused for reasonable expectations.
Yes, agreed.
Does that make sense? Like
Yes.
me saying Little Miss Recap is not going to beat out Joe Rogan ever.
That's a
It's
reasonable.
a reasonable assumption.
Yes.
A limiting belief would be like, I'm not going to grow at all.
Right. And you and I've talked a lot about
Yes.
that and
Yes.
the places where you butt up against that. And so
Agreed.
it's a real thing, and it's something we talk about in coaching a lot. And Nancy says the average person has 200 to 300 limiting beliefs. I don't know where we're getting these numbers from, but whatever. And Sarah says this really opened herself up. She started to believe in herself more. She saw more potential for herself. Maybe she wasn't a controlling, bitchy person. Maybe she could write her own script versus just, being an actor in someone else's play. All of this is fine.
Right. And these are also core tenets of therapy.
Yes.
Like
yes.
when I went to Janet the first time, I was like, I'm a control freak.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to do a lot of unpacking about why I thought I was a control freak.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of reframing.
Yes. Yes.
And that's I feel that's another thing. Like, did Sarah try therapy?
Well, both of her parents are therapists.
So maybe she was turned off to it. That happens.
That happens too.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't need therapy because I was raised by
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of
Yes, you're right.
Being a therapist kid I don't feel like it's not dissimilar from being like a preacher's kid. Like there's a
Mhm.
lot
PK.
of stuff that
Mhm.
comes with that.
Yeah.
But Nancy says once you can get rid of these limiting beliefs or what they call disintegrations, you become more unified. And Sarah's like, this is what gets people hooked, particularly because they'll have examples of this. And Mark talks about one. He says, well, we'll get to that in a minute. But he says Nancy Saltzman really got his attention. And he said after What the Bleep, he had a lot of attention from folks in Hollywood and really kind of could get into a lot of rooms he hadn't been able to get into before.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets a call or an email one day from a woman named Barbara Boucher. We'll talk more about her later. One thing we didn't say at the beginning, because I know so much about this, I'm trying really hard to just stay in the material of each episode and not give away details. I'll do my very, very best, particularly because I think some people have not watched this.
And because when we're done, we can do a Where Are They Now?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think there's a couple of deep dives we can do here.
Yeah.
And so when Mark eventually talks with Barbara, it's Nancy's on the phone as well. And Barbara explains that Keith has broken down personal development into basically science. And they want to meet with Mark and talk about this. And when he meets them, they fly in on a Lear jet. So he's like,
Okay.
You're getting some clearly you coming from some resources here. I'm a little bit more interested. He thought Nancy was smart, energetic, warm, good at connecting. And the biggest thing that he thought about NXIVM or ESP, everyone was just so kind and kind to each other and kind about the world. And that actually made him go, what the fuck's wrong here?
Yeah. And I could see how if you're in a dark place,
how attractive
how
that
feeling that would be.
And he said to Nancy, he's like, everyone's so fucking nice. Like, what's wrong? And she goes, what if you're looking for a problem where there isn't one? What if this is how the world can be? Again, I could see myself being like, like the questions are good because they do trigger thought. It's what you do with that thought that I think is interesting.
It's so interesting how my bullshit meter would be going off the charts here, but my bullshit meter fails me in real life applications at all times when I need it to work.
Right. And I usually have such a high bullshit meter, except for shit like this.
Yeah.
So we learned Keith has created this program called Rational Inquiry, which of course is a trademark. Everything has a fucking trademark on it. And Nancy says it's a technology. I'm like, Scientology is a technology too. And then we learn about EMs, exploration of meaning, exploration of meaning that can be used to get over anything. This is like word for fucking word Scientology.
Yeah.
It's the E-meter. This is what Scientology calls auditing. The only difference is that in NXIVM, you're not holding on to basically 10 fucking cans.
Right.
But it's the same process for the most part. And Nancy says that beliefs we form as small children stay with us. Okay. I see how that happens. Unless you work through them. You know, like I was told my whole life I'm an unattractive person because I'm overweight.
Yeah.
That's something I've been working on breaking out my whole life. And I'm still working on it. And EMs will allow you to work through these things. And so she's like, does anyone have volunteer? Mark's like, yeah, I'll volunteer. And he talks about how he would have panic attacks in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do a whole little EM session on it. And he's like, how do I know if this worked? And she's like, next time you're in traffic, see how you feel. He goes back to LA. We all know LA traffic's a fucking nightmare. Mm-hmm. He's driving around and he's like, I'm not panicking. Like he noticed a huge shift in how he was feeling.
Right.
And he asked Nancy, he's like, okay, well, when's this going to come back? Like, did we get rid of this for 6 months? What do we do here? And she's like, it's not going to come back because you integrated it. You're done. You fixed it.
Wow.
Which is it's a compelling thing to think like, oh, if I could go through an EM and all of a sudden have like confidence in my appearance, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how it works, but that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And so he says, look, you know, when you're doing all this work, it feels like a high. It's like, you don't even need drugs. We're not doing anything more than even talking. And he's like, this is exactly the thing I was looking for, is these kinds of connections. And so after his first intensive, he comes home, he finishes the screenplay he'd been struggling with for months. And things are just going well for him. Sarah says she felt like she was soaring after her 5-day, and she just has this new way of understanding. And she says watching people have these breakthroughs was amazing. And like she was really helping people for the first time, and it felt more efficient than therapy.
Oh, okay. I missed that part.
Think about it. You and I have been in therapy.
I don't want to waste time with therapy. I'm just going to go to this 5-day intensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Think about it. If someone says you could take 2 years to work on something, or in 5 days you can get it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that? I don't know what's happening with Leo right now.
No.
And Sarah says, so this was really great for her. And Keith says the goal is just to experience more joy in life. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So he's created a theory to understand why people do what they do and how to get integrated. And if it happens, you're more joyful. It's like, okay, Mark, it's like, I finally got myself. This felt great. And so Mark kept asking, when can I meet Keith? I want to meet this dude. And finally, they said he was ready. They were ready to meet or whatever.
And he was underwhelmed. Mark was underwhelmed.
He was really underwhelmed. Because before this, he had learned that he was one of the top 3 problem solvers in the world. Come on. He learned 3 languages before he could read.
Okay.
He went to RPI, Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute, excellent college.
Yep. I'm not saying he's not smart.
With a triple major.
Yeah.
I will spoil this for you. I think he only finished 1 semester.
Yeah. Yeah.
3rd degree judo black belt, concert pianist, true humanitarian. Mark's like, yeah, I want to meet this dude. Finally, he walks in the door and he's like, this guy? This schlubby guy? What?
Yeah, he looks like a reject from 30-something.
Kind of. He kind of looks like Peter Horton.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like a broke down Peter Horton.
But a very broke
Peter
down.
Horton's good looking.
Yeah, Peter Horton is good. He looks like a very broke down version of him.
He was the extra in 30-something that just, they cut his story.
He did the scene blocking so that Peter Horton could look hot. I mean, he just looks like this weirdo. Also, if you noticed, and they don't talk about this a lot, but when he walks in, he like kisses Nancy on the lips. He kisses everybody on the lips.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag. Red flag on the play.
There's like 3 people on the planet I kiss on the lips.
Yeah. I don't kiss anybody on the lips. Not even my kids, I don't think.
You kissed Timmy on the lips, obviously.
Yes.
I kissed Todd on the lips. Wendy and I have greeted each other kissing on the lips since high school. We just do. And that might actually be it.
Yeah.
That might be it. So Mark and Keith sit down. They have this 5-hour conversation. And Mark says he was just blown away because they were talking all this metaphysics and all this stuff that he hadn't even heard of. And his mind was blown. And he's like, wow, I've never heard of this. Keith's like, yeah, it's based on this new math I discovered. Mark's like, a new math? What?
New math I discovered.
Yeah. Sure, dude. And he's asking Mark questions about his life. And we learn more about Mark. He explains he's from South Africa.
Yeah.
Grew up very Calvinistic. His mother was kind of like the odd duck in the family. So he always felt like he could be a little bit more of an odd duck. And he was always kind of searching for the meaning of life. And at 13, he sees Star Wars and is like, oh, films. Film is the way I can get into this. Oh, that's great.
Totally makes sense.
Totally makes sense. And Keith told him after talking to Mark for a while, and this is where the magic, I think, of Keith Raniere is he talked to this guy for 5 hours. First of all, engaged him for 5 hours, but then was like, oh, I figured out the thing you're looking for. So now I can exploit it. I can go right in on it.
Yep.
Because he says to Mark, I feel like you have a deep responsibility to humanity and you want to do something good for the world, but you're afraid of causing more damage. And Mark is recalling this and you can hear the recording of it. Oh, by the way, like all good cult leaders, Keith had everything recorded.
Yeah.
All the fucking time.
Yeah.
Which is the best part because now we have all this great footage of this bullshit. And Mark's crying as they're having this conversation. Like it really moved him. And he tells Keith that he has a care and love for people. And Keith says, seeing that means you have it in you. And Mark's like, oh my God, this is great. And we hear him saying he's amazed that someone like Keith even exists. Like, okay, dude. So Mark says in the first year, he's like, I could do this forever. I'm in. I'm totally bought in. And Keith keeps telling him we're going to all go change the world. And Sarah talks about her experience meeting Nancy, who she went from thinking was this real weird lady on a TV screen looking like she was straight out of Working Girl.
Hey, everyone, it's Nancy Salzman. Are you feeling stuck in your career? Well, now we have the physics and science to make you a happy, whole person. It's
Very
so
good.
weird. It's so weird.
It's such a weird way of talking. And it's all this neuro-linguistic programming, which we'll talk about later.
It's
gobbledygook. And Sarah's like, I went from thinking this woman was a loon to thinking she was a rock star. And I was so excited to meet her. We learned
and
now
you look at Nancy Salzman, and you're like, her?
Because she looks like the mom you'd see at the Acme. Like
she looks like, like she's going to sell me Avon.
Yes, she's going to sell you Avon, or she's the HR lady.
Yeah. Yep.
Who's going to come ask you about your, have you filled out your I-9 yet?
Very nice. Yes.
You know? So we learned about the straight path. And to go up the straight path, which are these sashes, right? There's 3 things you have to do. 1, take classes. So you have to spend a lot of money. 2, work through your disintegrations.
Sure.
3, sign up new people. Money.
Yeah. MLM download.
It's a total MLM. And Keith actually had an MLM before this. But we'll do a whole deep dive on Keith's whole life story at some point. So white is an entry-level student. But if you notice, Keith also wears white because he's always learning. Okay, dude.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yellow or orange means you're doing intermediate coursework. Then you move to green, which is where you can become a coach. And then you move to proctor level. Blue is senior coach. Purple is the high-ranking leader. And gold is a very elite status, very rare. I think there's only like Nancy Salzman's one. I think Lauren Salzman, who's her daughter, was one. Allison Mack, I think, might be one as well. Mark went right up the thing real quickly. He was one of 9 senior proctors. Again, Sarah hated the sashes, but once she became a coach, she was like, oh, this is a symbol of all this work I've done. Yeah, it's just fabric, but it's showing all this work and time and energy I've put into it. And she's like, ESP became more important to me than acting. It was everything. And it was so much more rewarding than acting. And so now we see this woman playing piano. Mark's voiceover talks about meeting Bonnie.
I had forgotten that they were married.
Yeah.
I forgot about that because I knew that Mark was married to somebody inside NXIVM and that she had left, which I'm not spoiling anything that happens in this episode.
Yeah.
But I thought it was Sarah for a minute.
Yeah. Now.
And okay.
Yeah. Sarah's married to a guy named
Nippy.
Anthony Nippy Ames. And we'll meet Nippy in a future episode.
Okay. It's been a while since I've seen this.
Yeah. We've watched ahead at this point, and it had been a while since I'd seen it too. And there's some details I forgot, but he meets Bonnie. Bonnie had been in Battlestar Galactica. She was in a bunch of Star Wars shit. Like people have seen her. She's a real actor.
Just 1 second of appreciation for what a great show Battlestar Galactica is.
I've heard it was great. I never saw it.
Loved it. Anyway,
she said, and her career was going great. And a couple of years later, she and Mark connected again, and he was real. She's gorgeous. And I think he was just real into her and she was into him. And so
she's beautiful.
And she plays a song. Her music is also really beautiful.
I agree.
She's a beautiful voice. And she was like, I'm feeling like I'm going to give up music. It's not clicking the way I want. He's like, give me 5 days. Come to this thing. And if after those 5 days you still want to quit music, go to town. And she's like, she goes to this thing, she meets Mark, and there's something about it. She just immediately trusts him, feels very safe with him. She takes the 5-day in 2010 and she felt really seen and understood. And she said, you go really deep, really fast. You get rewarded for intimacy and vulnerability. And it just really clicked for her. She knew she wanted to be a coach and immediately moved to Albany. No shade on Albany.
We live near Albany.
Yeah, I don't understand why Albany becomes Clifton Park is the section of Albany, like becomes this mecca for fucking NXIVM.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's wild. Because like a lot of these people live in LA and they wind up moving to fucking Albany.
It's like moving to Binghamton.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
The home of BU, as I once.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. That was a dark day.
That was a dark day.
It's not as dark as December 18th, but okay.
Little Miss Recap will return in a moment. For ad-free episodes, visit littlemissrecap.com/support.
But Bonnie says she just loved learning about it. She was really into the EM tech. She wanted to do that. She gets sucked in as well. She felt like she finally found her meaning in her people. And we hear Keith talking about being an ethical humanitarian who is more ecologically, compassionate, more of a visionary, more all this stuff. And Bonnie's like, okay, the ethics part seemed really fucking weird. Yeah. It didn't quite resonate for me. But in these classes, you learn basically the world is a whole shit show because of people, and we just need to go fix people. And Keith says people will be as ethical as possible if we're all integrated. If we get rid of our disintegrations, we'll all be super ethical. And we won't even steal from each other.
Okay, Keith. So janky.
This part feels janky.
Yeah.
This part, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So now we meet a guy named Mark Elliott. Mark Elliott has significant Tourette's. And Nancy and Keith are like, we need to figure out how to cure this guy. I got to tell you, if I was someone watching this who had Tourette's myself, I had someone in my life I loved with Tourette's, I'd be like, fuck off. I would be so angry.
Yep.
And so they wind up making this film called My Tourette's, which is Mark Elliott's story. So just real quick, I'm going to talk about this movie because this doesn't go good either. From 2010 to 2017, NXIVM member and medical doctor Brandon Porter performed unlicensed human subject research on more than 200 subjects across a variety of projects. Elliott was involved with one project Porter oversaw, which sought to treat Tourette's. From 2015 to 18, Elliott produced and starred in a film promoting NXIVM's technique. In 2019, Porter's medical license was revoked for violation in 40 states and for violating federal regulations, including his role overseeing research.
Yep.
So doesn't go great. Prosecutors from the Eastern District of New York in the Bronfman case, we'll talk about who the Bronfmans are in a minute, wrote, the participants in this study have experienced significant distress at their involvement. Offered one victim impact statement from the study participant who said, this study did nothing for me except ruin my self-esteem, ruin my mental health, and made me hate myself. It didn't cure my Tourette's in any way.
Sounds great.
So Mark Elliott's like, I now live a life without Tourette's. I'm doing great. And Keith's like, okay, this seems odd, but it's working. So
this drives me crazy because what they're doing and what she did with him with the panic attacks is they're doing methods and reframing and stuff that therapists do.
Yes.
Or professionals do.
Yes.
But they're packaging it as this wonder cure.
And what's
it's
their
so
training?
Weird.
A 5-day
there's no
intensive?
Training. There's no training.
When I went to that Landmark Forum thing that I left feeling like I needed to shower after, they had a volunteer come up and this coach broke this person down. I mean, they were sobbing.
No,
and I'm like, this is fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
To people's mental health.
I agree.
Fucking with people this way. And so Mark's like, look, we're trying to figure out how to, get to world and corporate leaders, because if we can get to them, then we can fix them and it'll fix the whole world. And they need people who run the motor of the world. And that's an Ayn Rand term. So that's great.
Oh, yes, it is.
That's a great one. So they start courting celebrities. We get in Richard Branson.
Okay.
We get in Catherine Oxenberg.
We're doing real generous wording here that we are getting these high level celebrities.
Well, Richard Branson's real fucking rich.
Okay, Richard Branson, fine. Also, good pals with Jeff Epstein. So there you go.
It's not great. It's not great.
And then Catherine Oxenberg, she was on Dynasty.
She was on Dynasty, and she was royalty, which I think was also part of the allure. We get Kristen Kruk, who was on
like
Smallville.
Allison Mack. Like
Smallville had a pretty big following.
Yeah.
A bunch of people from Battlestar Galactica get into it. Like, you can just tell, like,
you're not
one
getting
actor.
Tom Cruise, John Travolta, though, of Scientology.
No. We're not doing that. We get to meet Emilio Salinas. His father was the president of Mexico. So there's a whole Mexican contingent of NXIVM folks. But what it turns out is there's two very wealthy women who are bankrolling this whole operation.
Yep.
Their names are Sarah and Claire Bronfman. They are
Seagram girls.
They are the heirs to the Seagram fortune. So all the gin and Seagrams makes so much shit you don't even know what Seagrams makes, kind of deal.
Yep.
And I looked them up. Their worth is estimated at about $200 million.
Wow.
These two young women. And this gave Keith access to a bunch of powerful people. Sarah Bronfman even gets the Dalai Lama to come to Albany.
Do you know how pissed off I would be
if
I worked my life's work? I don't know what Mr. Seagram was doing. I don't know how hard he worked, but whatever. If I had this empire,
someone somewhere worked hard to get us to this
I gave
point.
it to Samantha and Penelope, and they're giving all my money to fucking Keith Raniere. I'd haunt their asses.
Yeah, I would totally I'd come and haunt their asses on your behalf.
Yes.
So, we also find out, we get the Dalai Lama there, and Sarah's like, this starts giving us a lot of legitimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Rightfully so. The Dalai Lama doesn't tend to fuck around with lunatics.
Yeah.
And so then we get Allison Mack. She's successful on paper, she says, but she just wasn't feeling it. She gets immediately sucked in, and she's like, I did really well in my life as long as I had a script. I was a good actor. I was doing well in that part. The rest of my life was a shit show. And so Mark says, Allison was great. She was the life of the party. Eventually, Mark and Bonnie and Allison move into a townhouse together.
Yeah.
So he knows her very well. And Mark says one of the things they came up with is they realized that different people needed different things. So we should create different organizations. I looked it up. There's like 50, LLCs under the NXIVM umbrella.
Yikes.
It's a long fucking list.
Yeah.
But the big ones that you hear of are Jeunesse, which was the women's group.
Mm-hmm.
Keith thought women could change the world. So, okay, dude.
I mean,
I don't disagree with him on that, but his view of women changing the world was sucking his dick, basically.
Right. And his support of feminism was performative.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have SOP, the Society of Protectors. That's the group for men. XOSO, Bonnie started that for like this physical development program for actors. Allison Mack starts a program called The Source about public speaking and acting. They start the Rainbow Cultural Garden, which is teaching kids multiple language from preschool. But this is how these people have all this work to do.
Yeah.
Mark says, like, I was there for 12 years and people are like, what were you doing? He's like, all of this shit. Like,
I was working.
And we talked about this a while when I was bitching about Nancy Salzman on that Real Talk one day.
Yeah.
And how she was writing curriculum constantly. Well, it's this shit because we creating these new organizations. That
hey, kids, it's Nancy Salzman. Are you tired of saying hi in English? Is your 2-year-old brain bored? Well, now we can unlock your potential for language. I just hate her.
I hate her too. Though there's a ton of science that says the best way to teach kids multiple languages is get it into them really early. So
100%. Yeah.
Because little kids are good at that. So Mark, says Sarah says she and Mark had this vision. They wanted to open a center in Vancouver. And you see those centers popping up all over the place. Mark eventually gets on the exec board. So now we can open a center in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
And we see it being opened. Nancy's there. She tells them, if I had more teams like you, we could change the world.
Oh, she's all teary-eyed.
She's all, Mark, knowing Mark is an honor, and Sarah and all this shit. Sarah was one of, if not the top seller in NXIVM. She was real good at this.
Yeah.
And Sarah thought, some of this was unconventional, but once you understand it all, you could see how the world could change. And Mark and Bonnie even go to Keith to tell them they're going to marry. They have Keith write their wedding vows for them.
Wow. Could you imagine what those look like?
Oh, good. Think you want to talk about some fucking gobbledygook. Jesus Christ. And he says everyone except for Bonnie's mom, basically, at the wedding was from NXIVM. You know, it's a cult now, right? It's a cult. My entire world are these people.
We're in. Mm-hmm.
And Mark says that they realized later that they never had a honeymoon, and he starts to cry.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, God, this always catches me by surprise. And you're like, what? I've been married 3 times. I didn't have a honeymoon basically on my first wedding. I'm not sitting here crying about it. Like, what about that is the issue? And he says he feels like his life with Bonnie was stolen.
Yeah,
during that
that's
time.
the issue.
That's the issue, because they were so focused on this bullshit that they missed everything else. The first episode ends. We see Bonnie. She's outside their townhouse. She's calling Mark on the phone. And he says, Bonnie got there first, but it took me longer. And this is all from a recording. And she's saying, like, I'm seeing things in NXIVM that just don't feel right. And my gut's just telling me something is off here. Something is wrong. She's like, but I'm afraid to talk to you because you still really believe in Keith. And I don't know if I can trust you or trust him.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being in that moment of your marriage of like, waking up that one of you's in a waking up that you're both in a cult, but only one of you wakes up.
And I have to say, structurally, I loved the way this played out.
Me too.
And that this happened at the very end, because you're like, what? Yeah.
And she says, I know that the women aren't well and they're starting to crumble. And that's where we end.
So good.
It's
so
a really well done
It's
documentary.
a well done documentary. I agree. And Sarah and Mark, as much as I'm like about Mark, Mark is a good human. Sarah feels like she's a good human. I don't know. We'll see. But they are the perfect narrators to take us through this, because we are mirroring their journey. Right. Like they're selling it to us.
Yes.
And then you're sold. And then at the end, you're like, oh, wait.
Right. I mean, up until Bonnie saying like, something's janky here. Yes, it may feel like existential bullshit gobbledygook.
Yeah.
But he's selling it really well. If you're someone who's going to fall into this, like an Amanda, it's all like, okay. That's a little weird, but okay.
There's enough. Every time you have a doubt, there's enough stuff that's good that you push the doubt down.
There's enough there.
Yeah. And eventually all those doubts stack up.
Yes. Which is what happened to Bonnie. Little things just kind of got to her. And then one day it all came to her. So it's such a fascinating cult, because it's not about religion at all.
No, it's not
at all.
No. And I think that's challenging for me as well. Like, I think there would have to be a wild religious element for me.
Think about the big cults. They're almost all religion based.
Yeah.
This one isn't, which is part of what I think is so fascinating about it.
Yeah.
But and Keith is just such an unremarkable human.
I know.
That you're like, this guy?
You look at Nancy.
This girl?
You look at Nancy Salzman and Keith Raniere, and they look like they just dropped their kid off at kindergarten, and now they're going to, I don't know, co-sign a mortgage. Like, they just don't look like cult leaders.
Right. And then they might go have an art museum date or something. Sure. Like, they just look like regular human beings.
Yeah.
Like, Jim Jones looked like a wackadoo.
Yeah.
David Koresh looked like a wackadoo.
Here for that too.
Keith Raniere, you could walk by at Wegmans and not even know it was him. Because he just looks like a dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. And it's so interesting how throughout humanity and you know, this has always been a thing, how this just need and drive for perfecting who we are as humans is always there.
Yeah.
So interesting to me.
We'll start learning how everybody comes out of this cult. You know, we know immediately Mark and Sarah are obviously not in it anymore, as is Bonnie. Mark Elliott, still a staunch Keith Raniere defender.
Mark Elliott, the man
Tourette's
with
guy.
the gentleman with Tourette's. Okay.
Still a staunch Keith Raniere defender. And there are still a couple of them. Keith Raniere, after he's convicted and he's in prison, has like NXIVM members dancing outside the jail for him.
Oh, like a Manson situation. See, now Manson, that's a cult I would have got into.
Oh, yeah, you totally would have gotten into that.
And I think, too, there has to be an element. For me, it's about the leader.
Yeah.
And if you'll notice, a lot of these people have in common that they're broke down musicians.
Yes. Keith Raniere was a concert pianist, Amy.
Yeah, there has to be like
It's the guitar that's hot for you. It's
yeah,
not
and there has to be like an artistic element to it, like a creative element to it.
Yeah, because this is too sciencey for you.
Yeah, the creative world I understand completely.
Yeah, this is too
world,
sciencey. Yeah.
When he was drawing those little like diagrams and stuff, I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Keep me away from that.
Yeah, I'm so amazed, and there's a part of me that would love to meet Keith Raniere one day. There's 99% of me would not, but I would like to like experience.
Yeah, like what is it about this guy?
What is it about this guy? How does he get into people? How does he figure out the hook to hook these people in?
Yeah, because a lot of times around these cult leaders, it's the women who do the work for them.
Which eventually is what this becomes. But.
Yeah. So like, when you think about Charles Manson, like Squeaky and all those girls were selling him to people.
Right.
He wasn't really a salesman himself, but they were selling him. So it was like this image of him that happens. And I think with Keith, there's a little bit of that, but I think he knows how to talk to people.
He does. He knows how to connect with people, and he knows how to figure out where is someone's weak point that I can come in and begin to exploit.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm on notes for episode 2, and I'm very excited.
Yes. This is.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we're here.
I'm happy we're doing this because it's a really well done documentary. Yeah. And I'm happy about it.
And then there's another one called Seduced that's told from the perspective of, you'll find out shortly, it's not giving much away, Catherine Oxenberg's daughter got into India.
Yeah.
And so that's told from India's perspective. India held on a lot longer than Sarah and Mark did.
Yeah.
And got real sick through it. It's
yeah.
We'll get to the weight control portion of the program, and
because it's always there.
It's always there.
Yeah.
Keith Raniere is a real sick fuck. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. This is a try before you buy.
Right. Now we're going to the $8 tier.
Yep. We're going to go the $8 tier. We're going to finish out the vow and then do some deep dives on these motherfuckers.
Yep.
We're giving it the Murder She Watched treatment over here.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. Amanda, thank you for your work on this.
Amy, thank you for finally giving me this wonderful gift.
No, I'm very excited to go.
What a way to end 2025.
And again, I love things that make me think, that push me to think about things. And I really am thinking about like, what is it about this that I would not get sucked in? Like, I'm still in that process of thinking about it. Yeah. Because there's, I don't know, something there.
There's something else about it for you.
Yeah. Again, guys, let us know in the comments. Are you a Branch Davidian or are you an NXIVM member? Let us know.
Are you an Amy or are you an Amanda?
All right, guys. Thank you so much for your support. We'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.